Okay, I can see the list already. Yes, we are over 64 on the call. We're over 64 on the call or over 60 on the call. So please kindly use the chat box to tell us about yourself, your location. Are you joining from Nigeria? Are you joining from the UK? Where are you joining us from? Let's get to hear from you tonight. Bernard, we want to hear from you. Ademola, Adedeji, Abiodun. Let's get to hear from you. Debbie, let's get to hear from you tonight. Of course, we have our guest speaker on the call, right? But of course, we also want to be able to know those we are speaking to tonight, so we can know that we are addressing the right people. So kindly use the chat box to tell us a bit about yourself, a bit more about yourself before we proceed. So Richard, let's get to hear from you. Tete, let's get to hear from you as well. Paul, we're waiting. So while we're waiting as well, please ensure that you also share the link with your friends. Let them join the call. It's going to be an impactful and an insightful session. We really cannot wait to hear all that we're going to be hearing from our guest speaker tonight. So please do well to share the link. Let's get as many people as possible. We can push this to 80, we can push this to 100, right, before we go on. So please, let's push the numbers up. Let's push the numbers up by sharing the link with our friends, our colleague, and our network as well. But I'm still waiting for our messages. The messages I'm seeing here, I think they're from AI, note taker mostly. So please, let's get to respond. Are we able to use the chat box? Are we able to use the chat box? I think I need to confirm that. Is the chat box working? You can just give me like a reaction, a thumbs up. Let me just be sure. Okay, thank you, thank you. So let's get to hear from you. Let's get to hear from you. Let's get to hear from you. Hey, I'm waiting for our responses. I'm waiting for our responses. Okay, good. Mohammed says, okay, I think I have. Oh, wow, I've not been checking. All right, Mohammed says it's from Somalia and civil engineering background. Wow, that's great. Mohammed, thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, we have Bernard as well. Bernard is joining from Ghana. That's good. So Bernard, do you have a tech background, or you just want to transition into tech? Let us know. Mary says, Mary's joining from Nigeria. She's a product manager. That's good. Welcome, Mary. Good to have you on the call. Eric says, Eric is from Nigeria. He's an IT person. Amazing. Okay. Arinze is based in London. Is coming from a non-tech background, currently doing his master's in business analytics. I just passed my AWS Cloud Practitioner certification. Wow, amazing, amazing. I think we're speaking to the right audience tonight. So this is very good. This is a good one. This is a good one. Okay, Adiza said she's joining from Kaduna. She's a computer science graduate and currently a cloud computing learner. Amazing. I love this. I love this. She's thinking of following the DevOps route. That's good. That's good. Daniel is joining from Nigeria from a tech background in data science. That's interesting. Stephanie is joining from Lagos, Nigeria, no background in tech, I believe. Okay, but she wants to transition. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So Bamidele is joining from New Jersey as well. So Bamidele, do you have a tech background, or you basically just want to transition to tech? Deborah is joining from London. I don't have a tech background. Okay, good, good, good. We like the mixture. We like the mixture, and that's why we have a guest speaker on the call tonight. Is going to be touching base on all of these things. So whether you have a background experience, you have a tech experience, or you do not have a tech experience, you're going to be getting enlightened from tonight's webinar. Okay, Bamidele says on cloud computing for now. All right, good, good, good. Bolaji says is joining from the US, California. That's amazing. Thank you to everyone who has gone ahead to share their background and gotten to introduce themselves to us. So without further ado, we're just going to get straight into what we have for you tonight. I believe that we're super, super ready. We're super excited, and we're also get to take notes as well, because it's going to be an amazing ride. So before I bring on board our guest speaker tonight, I'm just going to go ahead and read his bio so that we can know get to know a bit more about him. Charles is a technology transformation consultant with deep expertise in AWS infrastructure and cloud native architectures. He currently works at Accenture, where he leads large-scale digital transformation program across public and private sectors organization. With a focus on scalable infrastructure, DevOps, and cloud adoption, he has delivered technical strategy and implementations across areas such as data platform modernization, serverless architecture, CRM and CMS integrations, payment infrastructure, DNS and routing, and observability tooling, supporting the full life cycle from proofs of concepts to production readiness. Charles holds an MSc in artificial intelligence and data science. I want you to take note of that, and data science with distinction, and is certified as an AWS Solutions Architect Associate, AWS Cloud Practitioner, and AI Practitioner. He is passionate about cloud education and enjoys helping early career profession build hands-on experience with AWS services and real-world systems design pattern. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we have the honor to bring on board this evening Charles, who is going to be talking to us about AI on the cloud and basically getting to demystify it. It's so good to have you on the call, Charles. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction. Just to make a correction, I think you mentioned that I'm currently with Accenture. I left Accenture last year, ending of last year, so I'm currently with a company called Capgemini. So, but everything other thing is correct. Thank you very much for that warm introduction, and I'm really excited to be here today. I'll just before I start, I'll just share. I have a slide for you guys. I'll just share my slide so we can start talking through it. And I just want to say that I did not really know that we have people that are very new to cloud. So some things I did for my presentation were for people that has a bit of, but I'll try as much as possible. I had a bit of knowledge in cloud already, but that's still fine. Please, when you see my screen, you let me know. I think I'm sharing now. Yeah, but you can see my screen. Can you?
Not yet.
Okay, it's coming up. Just bear with me 1 minute. It's coming up soon. What I need to log in and log out. Okay, but as the screen is coming up, let me just say a warm welcome to all of you, and I would say that and congratulations on this your cloud journey. I know a lot of people have started, and a lot of people are yet to know about cloud. So congratulations on what you've done so far. Just being on this call, it's a bit that you've started something, because this is one of the best times for anybody to think of being in the cloud or starting a cloud journey. We are standing in the middle of the biggest technology transformation in human history. I think something that could be compared to the internet era. When internet came, we've seen AI is now exploding, and cloud, at the other hand, is also exploding. And for AI, which is something I like to talk about most of the time, we've seen that a lot of companies are doubling down on that, and you could hardly even have conversations now with maybe CEOs of companies or CFOs of companies without them talking about AI strategy. That has an implication for all of us in the tech industry. And the good news is that in terms of cloud, all of these AI systems actually run the cloud. Yep. So this evening, what we'll do, we'll talk about how this AI platform is running on the cloud and what it is for us as people in technology. Okay. So for this session, we're going to discuss. I don't know why. Sorry. I think it's changed. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to discuss 4 main things. First, we explain the fundamental reason why AI is running on cloud. Why do we say that AI runs on cloud? And we also see why AI workloads fits naturally on cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and the rest of those cloud platforms. And secondly, we'll describe how the cloud professionals are evolving with the new AI. We also understand your career pathways in this AI cloud era. And lastly, how would you position yourself for roles in this time? By the end of this session, if you're not taking home with anything, you should take away with the clarity that the world is actually changing, and you should also have that confidence that there's a place for you as a cloud practitioner. I know that for AI, there's been a lot of fears. A lot of people have been talking about different things. Some are saying that the way AI is going about that, a lot of things will change, that AI is going to automate most of the jobs that we are currently doing. Things like cloud engineers, solution architect, out of jobs, that we very soon will not have jobs. But you've seen that this is not true. Some people also say that even to work in AI, maybe you have to have maybe a data scientist, or maybe you have a PhD level of certification, which is not actually true. Some even also say that tools are so simple. Those AI tools that we are currently using, are so simple to use. If you start building very deep, maybe cloud knowledge or any other professional level of knowledge that is going to be relevant in the nearest future, they are all lies and they're all myth. And some would also say that if you don't need to, if you do not build those AI models, you cannot claim to be someone in AI, that you will not be part of this AI wave. All of these statements are just there for me to create pressure for you, and also for you to begin to doubt if this career path you are taking is right for you. I want you to know that from the evidence that we have seen in the industry, they are not true at all. If you're a cloud practitioner, that your cloud skill matters a lot, and even matters more than ever, because cloud engineers, cloud architects are not being replaced. They are, if for any other thing, they're even we've seen more demand for these skills, because companies are now need a lot of AI deployment, and the people that will do that safely and reliably and at scale are cloud practitioners. So this afternoon, when I was in a meeting with one of UK's big bank, with their CFO, and he was talking about that one of the things that kept him awake at night is people, that he needs a lot of people. There are a lot of openings in the market, and that no people are there to fill it. And it's not just banks, every other industries, even as we are talking about AI expansion, they are still looking for people to fill these roles. If people are saying that people are getting sacked at role, it's not really because of AI expansion. It could be other things, but because we are seeing that jobs are increasing based on AI. Okay, but having said that, I also want to say that the jobs that we are currently doing is actually changing, because AI is actually transforming the kind of work that we do. There's a story that shows that 22% of the jobs that you're currently doing would change by 2030 because of technology. That means in every one in every 5 roles is going to change. So what do you need to do if you are somebody in technology? At this time, what you need is more of upskilling. You have to ensure that you currently upskill, have to know that we have to adapt to different skills that is coming. And the reason is that one of the ways we said that AI is a cloud workload is that, first is that the job market is transforming, which I've just mentioned. But the good news is that as this job is transforming, new roles are also appearing. We have seen new job titles that are coming up now. Before, we never heard of things like machine learning ops engineers or AI infrastructure, but now we're having those kind of names coming out now. And who are the people filling those roles? Are people that have some cloud knowledge. If you have those cloud knowledge, just need a bit of upskilling for you to be on those roles. So the career implication for you is that as those roles are evolving, if you have a static skill set, that means your skill set is not evolving. You are at a very risky state. So what you need to do is continue learning. As new things are coming up, you continue adapting your skill set just so that you can take advantage of that. The second reason that AI is also a cloud workload is AI growth is cloud growth. I mentioned before that AI is really exploding now. We are now seeing new business models like things like GP as a service, where instead of people would rent GPUs to train their models. That is becoming, we've seen those kind of new business models coming out now. And there's a lot of new AI platforms and a huge AI investment that we have seen with the infrastructure. AWS recently announced that around 50 billion of investment to expand their Spark computing capacity so that they can have for government and also for customers. This really, there are a lot of massive investments, but a lot of hyperscalers are doing it. I know that some people on this call might not said you are just starting your career. Maybe I might, if I will need to come back and explain what AI, what cloud is. So basically, cloud is you renting, instead of having systems to run, maybe have data centers to run, you are renting those systems. So there are companies like AWS, Microsoft, and Google. We also have Alibaba in China. So they have those data centers, and then you can rent it, more of using the internet to rent it. That's how cloud works. But I know that 50% of people on this call knows what cloud is. So just for people that do not understand, that is basically what cloud is. Still computer, but instead of having those physical compute, you actually have the ability to rent them or use it pay per service. So the third reason why AI is cloud workload is integration over replacement. So in most companies and the projects I've worked with, AI is not an isolated piece of work. The thing that we call AI today is almost always embedded into the existing system that you're currently using. And roles like cloud engineers, DevOps, and all of those solution architect role, they still support those new AI projects that are working on. And so that their knowledge flows. And for you, as someone that is coming into cloud, the implication for it for your career is that as those roles are expanding, you are still going to be making decisions on design, which is what a cloud solution architect does. But your scope of work will also need to change, because now you need to start building systems, some intelligence systems, and then bringing some automations and features into those systems that you are building, so that you could support those AI projects. So as someone that is moving to the cloud, you have to ensure that you learn how to design those trusted systems, those platforms that can run on AI. And the truth is, AI really is not running on a very separate wall. They are actually cloud. So why does AI naturally live on the cloud? People would say. And for this, there are about 5 big reasons why AI are currently living on the cloud, why people would want to use cloud for their AI. First is the compute at scale. So we are seeing that AI workloads are very busty. Most of the times, the things that we use, AI needs a large workload. And for us to do that, you need something that is very elastic, because sometimes there's a need for you to downsize, and then there's some times that you need to horizontally or vertically scale up or down. And AI, cloud as it is, provides you with that opportunity, because most services in cloud, say for instance AWS, are already elastic. So you pay as you are using it. If you need it to expand, almost immediately it will expand. And so it really fits into AI. Let me even give you an instance. The ChatGPT you are now using, the ChatGPT 3 was trained using about 10,000 plus GPUs on Azure. Azure is Microsoft Cloud, is the one that is done by Microsoft, and AWS is for Amazon. So if, for instance, they wanted to buy that level of compute and train those models, it would have almost been impossible, because that's a normal scale of compute. To buy that level of compute is not easy. And you cannot even run that, say you want to use it on a very small data center, because that is almost impossible. So the cloud platforms give you that ability. The second reason is why AI runs on cloud is we need also use that specialized accelerators. So we have seen that modern models run best on the GPUs and AI chips like Trainium and Inferentia. So these components are really expensive and scarce. Sometimes small companies do not have that amount of money to go and buy those compute. So as cloud providers, they provide you, because they have that aggregated hardware, and then they can now sell it to you as managed services, and then you can use it for you to train your models and also deploy your AI solutions to it. So for you in cloud, with the AWS knowledge that you have, or you would have, or that you're planning to do, you will be able to choose what is the right instance that you need to use, what is the right pattern, what's the right cost, and those performance trade-offs that you need. So your knowledge in cloud is really important in that phase. And another reason why AI run on cloud, and the third reason, is that it's also data at scale. AI needs a lot of data. There's a saying that if there is no data, there is no intelligence. The AI that we are seeing today, the ChatGPT we are clicking on, is trained on enormous amount of data. And cloud gives you that unlimited storage. If you have Amazon, like Amazon S3, so with that unlimited storage you can use, it's possible for you to train your data, and then you can use build data warehouse, you can build data lakes, and then you create data pipeline using things like AWS Glue, and then use it to clean and prepare that data. So that data needs to fuel that AI models for training, for fine-tuning, and then for retrieval. So that is why AI naturally will run on cloud. And the fourth reason is cloud is the speed of deployment that we see, because sometimes we need to deploy very fast, and cloud itself offers that speed. Cloud use global APIs to run. They use things like regions, edge locations, different deployment pipelines. So you can quickly expose your model endpoint, and then you can deploy at scale just by the click of your finger. Something that if you want to build that's your AI system at your different data centers and using it in-house, it will be a very long-term project. But cloud is already giving you that platform for you to do that. The last reason why AI runs on cloud is security and governance. AI itself has introduced new risk. These days, we are talking about data leakage, things like prompt injection, or maybe sometimes bias output that AI is producing. What cloud does is that it gives you that control plan. So things like identity and access management, IAM, that you use when you are assigning different roles to people on a cloud platform, and the ability to encrypt your data. Some of the services that we have in AWS already have that encryption in it, so you can easily encrypt and even audit log for anything that happens within your system. You could see the audit log of those transactions, and you can also even things like network isolation, where a particular network is isolated from a different network. It gives you that overall control. So that is what cloud does. It means that you can apply any rules that you want, you can enforce any form of policies, and you can even build a lot of guardrails around your AI systems. So these 5 reasons will explain why AI will naturally live in the cloud. And they also explain why your cloud skills, your AWS skills, your Azure skills are directly relevant to the work that is happening within AI. Let me give you 3 case studies to show you real world example of, or would say use cases of cloud to build AI project. So we have these 3 companies. HubSpot is that they're very popular companies. Atera, and the most popular among them is Samsung, one that we know very well. So for HubSpot, they wanted to let their customers generate marketing images using AI. To do this, there's a service within Amazon that they use, Amazon Bedrock. They use it as their foundation. Instead of having large GPU farms like building data centers, they use Stability AI. Stability AI is a foundation model. It's just like ChatGPT. They use stability model within Amazon Bedrock itself. They're connecting it through API. Because of this, they were able to scale, and they deliver over 300,000 images. And they even surpassed the target that they had before by 150%, without having to think about infrastructure, without having to think about other compute. Cloud rather provided that infrastructure for that massive project. And another company is Atera. This one is very relevant to us. Atera is in healthcare. Atera had a mission of personalizing cancer treatment. They wanted to analyze huge biopsy scan images. So they used AWS platforms, EKS and Elastic File Services. They were able to process millions of data points using parallel cloud services. They use a lot of cloud services to process that data. Because of this, they reduced diagnosis of cancer from 6 weeks of that used to take to diagnose cancer. They reduce it to just 3 days. So we are seeing the real impact of cloud and AI in our world. And finally, Samsung, they wanted to improve their forecasting accuracy. There's a platform, this service called Amazon Search Maker, if you have learned Amazon, and then it helped them to build AI capabilities directly into their team. So because of this, Samsung, the analysts that we had in Samsung could generate machine learning forecasts without needing data scientists, something that data scientists usually do. But because of these AWS platforms and AI, they were able to generate it without having to need data scientists. So these are just very few examples I'm trying to highlight. Almost all companies now in the world are implementing AI systems, and all of those cases, in almost all cases, they are leveraging a cloud compute for their project. So for as a cloud practitioner, what problem will companies almost always call you to come when it comes to AI? There are a lot of problems they'll always call you, but I want to share with you 3 ones that are really popular that we are seeing in the industry now, where most people are solving from, if you have a cloud background, are you helping companies to solve? One of which is retrieval augmented generation systems, or what is called knowledge assistant. So most business problem is that employees have a lot of very dense internal documents. So your role as a cloud practitioner who is working in AI space is that you are going to be helping them to design that data pipeline. For example, to use things like S3 storage and OpenSearch for retrieval, and then use different API access. So you implement those guardrails and help them to build those systems that would become an intelligent system for them. Another project that is very, very common is intelligent document processing. Because teams, a lot of companies have to review a lot of manual documents like invoices, forms, or contracts, which is sometimes very slow, is very expensive because you need a lot of people to do those things. And because of that, there's a lot of human errors involved. So the role of solution architect and AI people is that to help them to automate that pipeline. There are a lot of services within cloud that can help in that. Things like Textract to extract the text messages. They use Bedrock to summarize or classify some of those information, and then they route the result to the right systems. So those are some of the project. And the third one is AI agent and workflow. This one is really common. So because some companies has very complex like customer requests and multiple steps that need to be done. And then if you want to bring human to do these things, human have to be going from one system to another. And sometimes because of going through to different systems, you get lost, you lost the context of that problem, and you increase the customer's wait time. So we are seeing a lot of work happening in that area where we need to bring in, where agents can be used to call different tools, and then you get different APIs and get those kind of jobs done. So as cloud engineers, as cloud specialists, you will be called to solve some of this problem for the different customers. Okay, and so as AI is coming in, we're also seeing other questions that as a cloud practitioner, you need to start answering. Although some of these questions are not really new for cloud practitioners, but now it's becoming really prominent. As you're building system, as you're thinking about solution, you have to start asking some of these questions. Questions on security, on governance, on safety, on reliability and cost. For example, for security, you have to ask questions on how do we prevent sensitive data from reaching the models? Because sometimes you are building models, you have to prevent sensitive data from getting there so that it will not generate that information to people that do not need it. And it is cloud engineers that know the right answers to those questions. So also have questions about governance. So you also have to ask yourself, how do we audit what questions were asked and what answers were given? Because you need to understand retention policies. If someone is logging into AI, what's the retention policies on the different prompt people are giving and the different feedback they're having? What's the review process? If there's a problem, how do we review our system to see what's happening? Another area that as cloud practitioners you need to think about is on safety. This cannot be emphasized. Just recently in the UK, there have been issues where Grok is being used to modify people's pictures. So as cloud practitioners, we have to ensure that you put those guardrails in place to prevent harmful content from being generated, or sometimes even biased output, maybe that is unfair to a particular set of people. So you have to ensure that there's no prompt injection and there are defenses to protect this. You have to ensure that you think about personal identifiable information, PPI. How do we handle those kind of cases? We think about policies to also disallow some form of content from being generated. And all of these is what cloud practitioners does, is inherent in cloud computing. The other one is reliability. So what are the fallback? Because what if a model fails and is slow? How do we ensure that we go back to where we were? Maybe think about resilience. Think about what kind of error message do we display to customers when this kind of thing happens? So you have to think about it. And the most important part is on cost. What is our budget? And as cloud practitioners, once we are building system, you also think about the cost of the TCO, the total cost of ownership. What does it mean for you to run this system? Why do you choose a particular compute? Why do you choose a particular storage class? All of those kind of things. How do we enforce that we get to a particular budget, and then we have to ensure that maybe get an alarm or all of those kind of things. So those are the constraints and key considerations as AI and cloud practitioners, we always think about it. Okay, so for career path, now let's come back to us. We've talked about that AI is creating or modifying jobs, and we also see a lot of expansion that is happening in this space. So what is the career pathways and where do you fit in as cloud practitioner who is also working in an AI era? So we have a lot of different job roles are happening now. We have like the one on the screen now, AI application engineer, where you're looking at building things like chatbot, search, intelligent features, using service like Amazon Bedrock that I mentioned before. So you have to think about those are kind of pathways that you can move to if you want. And then you also have things like AI infrastructure and ML ops, where you think about how this model runs in production. How do you manage the different GPUs, monitoring the costs, all of those kind of things that you answer. And it is cloud practitioners that think about that. And we also seen other roles are still growing. Things like solution architecture, where you focused on design end-to-end systems, all of those kind of things. And things like cloud architecture, cloud engineers, system admin, cloud focus, site reliability engineers, cloud DevOps engineers, cloud security. So you could pick anywhere within cloud and you could still work in this time that AI is also exploding. So all of these skills are still central to AI, and AI is even making it more valuable for making those people with those skill sets very valuable. So now, how do you position yourself for different cloud and AI roles? How do you tell your stories? Maybe you're writing your CV, if you're having discussions on interviews, if you're talking to your hiring managers. So I've divided this into 4 areas. First is the technical architecture part as a cloud person. So as a cloud solution architect, you are going to be designing systems that include AI as part of that system. So you should be able to articulate that to the hiring manager. You should understand that what the common architecture pattern is. Things like are really relevant now, like the retrieval augmented generation I mentioned, things like fine tuning, agent-based workflow, all of those things you should be able to learn. And then you should also see the kind of patterns that are happening within the industry. We should talk about things like security, storage, and all of those ones. And you should be able to explain the different trade-offs, because that's really important. Why are you choosing a particular service over the other? So you have to talk about, is it the cost? Is it accuracy? Is it security? What is the trade-off between me picking this one and then letting go of the other one? So these are the things that when you are going for those interviews, you have to demonstrate it in your argument. And another one is business alignment. As someone that is positioning yourself for roles in the cloud, you should understand that as a strong architect, you have to start with the business problem. It's not just building solutions. You have to think about what is the business trying to solve, and then you work backward to the technology. You have to come from understand the business first, the problem first, and then you see how you can solve that with the technology that you have. So when you're having those conversations, you have to connect the capabilities of your system to the outcome of those systems, how to make it more faster, decision making, how to improve customers' expectations. When you have these kind of conversations, that is when the hiring manager would know that this person is thinking, not just thinking within the technology, but you're thinking strategically. And those are the kind of things that they would hire you for. And then another one is operational excellence. AWS always preach of excellence when it comes to operational excellence when it comes to the architecture, their framework. So you should also be disciplined in terms of knowing the critical workload that you need to work on. You should mention things like monitoring, observability, using logs, matrices, and how to maintain that visibility, because that's really important. You have to know what's happening on different systems and how would you solve that problem. If problem arises, how would you make it work? And the last part is leadership. Every cloud person, you're already a leader, because most of the time you'll be asked to direct how the company is going to in terms of technology. So you have to be able to communicate very well. It's very important. Maybe use things like the different diagrams that you use and how you structure your explanation when you are giving. Yeah. So we're almost getting to the end of it. So the key takeaway from today's webinar is that there are three takeaways. That we should know that AI is cloud workload. Do not allow yourself to be carried away by AI. Everything that we are doing in AI is actually happening within cloud. AI demands for compute, for data, trust, and all of those ones happens within cloud platforms. So if you have that cloud skills, you are going to be more valuable than ever. The second bit of what you should take away from today's webinar is those four pillars I've mentioned: technical architecture, business impact, and operational excellence, and the leadership and collaboration. You should be able to articulate those points and then show yourself as on those four pillars. And the last one, positioning yourself as the bridge between the potential of AI and the reality that the potential would look like in production. It's not just saying AI, how would you make that work in terms of production? And it is the cloud architect that is going to make that possible. So this is almost the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time and your attention. And I want to say that for those that are really interested in this industry, you are entering this industry at the right time. AI is rising, cloud is at a very maturing state now, and the world urgently need people who understand both of AI and cloud. You don't even need to know it deeply in terms of AI, just have an understanding of it. So you have to keep learning. I know that people on this call, they're already, just being on this call shows that you have that potential to learn. So keep learning, keep building, keep asking questions, and then thank you very much. I would open the floor for any form of questions, which I'll be glad to answer.
Thank you so much, Charles. I believe that was really, really, really an insightful session. You would agree with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can see the reactions from our people as well. Just basically reacting to that. I had an amazing time just listening to what AI is doing in the industry today. Thank you so much for your time. So please, if you have any question, just use the Slido link. I can see a raise of hands. Kindly just use the Slido link to drop in your question so that we don't miss out on anything. So we're just going to be taking some questions now. We have the questions in our Slido link here. I'm starting with the very recent one. Someone says, when I am learning this skill, it is important to work with some real projects. let me take that again. When I'm learning these skills, it's important to work with some real projects. How do I add my CV? Okay, this question is, I need to rephrase it very well. Okay, this person is basically asking, where can I get projects that would help me to land my first job? Basically, just trying to know where to get projects they can work on, right? That will position them to land their first job.
Okay, I think you could join Cloud Booster. Cloud Booster has a platform that they do a lot of training, and they'll provide you with project that you'll be working on. I've been a part of that. What I've seen their core, they've done amazing things during their different presentations. They've built. I mentioned augmented generation. I've seen where learners be able to build those kind of systems. So you could leverage that and you can use it on your CV. So there's also, you could also check the internet. There's also a lot of internship that is happening around, some voluntary opportunities or some freelance gigs around that you could apply those those skills with, and then you showcase that on your CV. There are a lot of ways. You could also even reach out to people that you know that are also doing that, which they could guide you, and try to put your hands on them, lay your hands on some of those certifications within. If you're moving to cloud, those certifications are really important, especially the foundation certifications. They would also show that you are disciplined and you already understand the fundamentals of cloud. You could, yeah, so that's a very good way to go.
Thank you so much for answering that, Charles. Okay, so I'm just going to merge these two questions together. Someone says, is coding mandatory to work in cloud rules supporting AI, in cloud rules supporting AI, right? And someone else is asking, what advice would you give someone who feels overwhelmed by cloud and AI combined?
Okay, for the first question, no, it's not all roles within AI that requires, or even within cloud that requires coding. In fact, the people that are coding within technology, they are not even up to 30%. A lot of people are doing great things within technology without needing to code. The core cloud um, um, job doesn't even require coding. You need to understand the system. Basically, what you need might need things to understand a bit of Terraform, that's called infrastructure as code, which is not really difficult to learn. But you don't even, sometimes you don't even need, because you'll be on most some advisory roles that you'll be deciding the architecture to use. You don't even need to get that. So I would say no, you don't need. Do not allow the need or the pressure that you need to code before you can do anything within cloud or within AI. And even within AI, we've seen a lot of roles coming up within AI that you don't need code. The people that need to code are very few, maybe data scientists, machine learning experts, but we've seen a lot of other areas within AI that you don't need to code. So you just have to pick. If you feel that you're having difficulties coding, you can move to other things. You can move to product within AI, and move to business analytics. You could move to um, AI advisory, all of those kind of roles, or even within cloud as it is, you could move to there. So you don't need any coding experience. And for the next question that said overwhelmed, I know that when I was preparing this slide, and then I did not know that we have people that are just starting their journey. I thought we have intermediate people that already know. And do not be overwhelmed. Every specialist started somewhere. Every specialist started somewhere. Just pick bit by bit. I would say that because now we have a lot of content around the world. We have different platforms that are giving you lectures. So you could tend to be overwhelmed with information. I would advise you that just pick what you want to do. Think about which area do I want to go into? And then what do I start to learn from that area? If you want to go into cloud, let me just give an instance. For instance, I want to become a cloud solution architect. AWS has a pathway for you. You could start with learning the foundation skills, which is just very general, be touching the general services that are using. There you have the appreciation, you start understanding it. And then before you start going deep into it. So do not be overwhelmed. Don't allow yourself to be overwhelmed with the different information that we are having. Everybody started somewhere, and there's no wrong time for you to start.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I hope that answers the question of whoever asked the question. Thank you, Charles. Okay, there's a question from the chat box. I'm just going to take that.
Okay.
This person is asking, what are the best certifications for AI career path in the cloud?
Okay, for AI career paths, I would say for me, I would like people, if you're moving to cloud, pick AWS first. You could pick anything, you could pick Azure, but AWS seems to be a bit learner friendly for people that are just starting their career. Start with the foundation. There's a foundation for AI practitioner foundation. There's also the cloud foundation. You could maybe do the foundation for cloud practitioner foundation first, and then your next certification would be the AI practitioner one. With that, you have a very solid foundation to move into AI and cloud. And then from there, you can build upon it. So that is a good pathway. Or you could also say, maybe you want to move into Azure or Google Cloud. There are also different foundational certifications you can pick up.
Hey, amazing. So I'm just going to take two more questions. This person is asking, what path do you recommend in cloud? AI, architecture, security, DevOps. What's your recommendation? If it's possible, give a one-word answer.
There's no one word answer for you. I'm so sorry. And it depends on you. There are numerous options that you can pick up. It depends on you. Like I said, and all of those, anything you pick is rewarding. It's a very rewarding career. If you say you want to pick solution architecture, you want to pick machine learning, you want to pick anyone, it's very rewarding. Now, you could do a Google search and then understand what each of these career path does. Assess yourself. What do you have interest in? What does interest you? And then you go for it. If you're someone that likes coding, you could start thinking about the data engineering part of it. If you're the one that likes maybe to explain things, to look at the trade-offs between different systems, you can go to the solution architect part of it. Or you could even go to the DevOps side, to where you are going seeing the production environment, you are talking about the CI/CD pipeline. So anyone that is best for you, because we have a lot of people on the call, I cannot say this is what you should pick up. Every career in technology is rewarding.
All right, thank you, Charles, for that. I hope that answers your question. Whoever asked that. So one more question before we let Charles go tonight. So this person is asking, what's the place of ethics and data protection in AI?
I've mentioned it before during my presentation that one of the problems, or one of the questions that we need to answer when we are building AI systems, is with security, with all of those ethics and all those kind of questions. They have a place, because any technology in the hands of bad players could become a problem. And a technology like AI, where we are seeing a lot of potentials, it could be very beneficial potentials, like the case I mentioned for Atera, where that they used AI for cancer diagnostics, cutting the time for diagnostic from 6 weeks to 2 to 3 days. That is a very good use case. But you're also seeing a lot of bad actors using it for different things, like the one I mentioned in Crocs in the UK, where Crocs is used to remove to edit people's picture and start putting people nudes on the internet. That is very bad. But I believe that we should always, when we are using those AI, we should always ask ourselves, am I using the right thing? If the companies is saying that you should not maybe use proprietary documents on AI systems, or you need the right permission, always ensure that you have it. You have to start from you. And I know that the government is also trying to ensure that they put those regulations in place. But AI is a new technology. How the government will put those regulations, they'll be more of reactive. When things happen, they will come and put, because you also want to be sure that you're not stifling innovation. You're not trying to stop something that is just starting. And then there's a lot of competition in the world right now. China is competing, US is competing, Europe is competing. They want to be who is the first to get to a particular, so they're also being careful not to stifle innovation. But the place of ethics is still there. We have to consider the ethics of this technology. And it's also a career path you can pick up. You could, in fact, it is one of the very demanding career path. You can say you want to pick up AI ethics, and then you'll be regulating companies on how they are abiding by the laws of AI, or you could be writing those policies for your company. Do you understand? So it's a very good career path you can pick up. It doesn't require coding experience. It doesn't even require very much technical skills. It's just you understanding the laws and how you apply them.
Wow, thank you so much, Charles, for answering all of that question. We really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. We are so glad to have you share this insightful session with us. Thank you for your time. So we're just going to be getting straight into the next session before we close out for tonight. Please stay with us. Do not drop off yet if you are still with us. Yeah, I'm talking to our audience basically. Yeah, so please, I'm just going to be handing over to Bemi to take over this particular session for tonight before we close out. Over to you, Bemi. You're muted if you're speaking.
Sorry, I was so excited to speak. Anyways, thank you so much, Charles. Like, can we just celebrate Charles one more? What an insightful session. Very thorough, very detailed, and, straight to bang on things you can do. And that's what you're here for. Without wasting too much time, Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you're all excited. I mean, this is our first webinar for the year, so we're so excited. And thank you for joining us today. So, everything that has been said, we need to put it into action. There was a time in my career where I used to organize webinars and sensitize people. You need to do this, you need to do that, this is the future. But I just realized that at the end of the day, people don't know what to do next, right? It's not so much about sensitizing you about what is next. It's actually for you to give you something that you can work with that would actually guide you on that journey. And that's where Cloud Booster comes in. So today, I'm just going to be sharing with you how you can launch your Cloud DevOps career based on everything that you have learned in the next 8 weeks. Okay, in the next 8 weeks. I'm going to be showing you how you can launch your Cloud DevOps career over an 8-week period. So please just stay with me. And of course, as always, I have a special discount for you at the end. I have a special offer for you at the end. So at Cloud Booster, our priority is to ensure that we are able to turn you from wherever you are right now into that competent cloud professional, Cloud DevOps professional who is leveraging the power of AI to advance their career. So I want to talk to you about the new career pathways that we have at Cloud Booster over the next 5 minutes. I want to remind you that the tech skills gap is so real, and Charles talked about it as well, right? There is such a demand for people. Like I was speaking to, because I work at PwC UK, my full-time job, right? And I was speaking to some of my partners at work, and they were like, you know what? This is the time where we're at so much capacity. There's so much work to do. We're recruiting. We're offering a lot of bonuses for people that can bring in talents that are really good and all. And I was like, wow, that's what we're here for. So companies are hiring, but the talent is scarce, right? Cloud and DevOps roles offer 6-figure salary. Traditional education takes years, and you don't have that time to go through traditional education. Someone like Charles is so lucky. He studied AI, he studied machine learning, all these fancy things in school. Some of us studied the rigid mechanical engineering. Some of you studied courses that, man, they've almost become archaic today, but we have to go where the direction of the waves and the trends are. And that's why we're here for you today. So if you're interested in becoming a cloud DevOps professional and you want to leverage this new year, it's a brand new year. I don't care what your experience has been in times past. And that's what I've been telling even our community, our Cloud Booster, I've been reconnecting with our alumni community. I'm just telling them that it's a brand new year. You can take direction, you can chart the course of how you want the year to go. I don't want you guys to enter into this year and another year passes by and you've not taken definite actions. That's why we're here. So right now at Cloud Booster, we've made it simplified and we've made our courses more accessible for everyone who is willing to leverage the new trends in the world of cloud computing powered by AI. So we have 4 intensive pathways for you if you want to explore one of our programs. So right now at Cloud Booster, we've broken down our programs to be more accessible. Like I said, some of you that have known us for many years, we've always delivered 18 weeks long program, 22 weeks, 24 weeks. But we just thought, you know what, let's group these programs into pathways that can make it easily accessible for people. So we now have the cloud computing pathway, which is the foundation, which you have to do before you explore all the remaining 3 pathways. And this is where you learn about the world of cloud, right? We introduce you into AWS, into Microsoft Azure, and you learn cloud and a bit of programming. Some of you ask questions about programming. I don't want you to be intimidated. You can learn it from scratch. And that's why you have us here from Cloud Booster to teach you all the skills from scratch. So we have 3 pathways which are DevOps related, the ones you see in dark blue. Right, we have the advanced DevOps pathway, which is for 8 weeks, platform engineer pathway, which is for 8 weeks, and site reliability engineer pathway, which is for 8 weeks. So depending on how you want you can decide and say that, see, I want to go all into DevOps. I want to do all the 4 pathways, right? And I want to be with Cloud Booster for 32 weeks. That's totally fine. But the minimum we say is sign up for at least 2 pathways, right? Take cloud computing and take one of these DevOps pathways. Minimum of 16 weeks, you can actually get your dream role. You can even get it in 8 weeks if you want to learn cloud computing alone. It depends on what you're after. But now you can shape your career the way you want. If you combine just cloud computing and advanced DevOps, there are roles that you can get in that field. If you combine just cloud computing and platform engineer pathway, there are roles you can get in that field. If you combine just cloud computing and site reliability, there are roles you can get in that field. And if you want everything, it only makes you a lot more valuable and you can access significantly more roles, right? So for everybody, there is something for you today. And please stay till the end so you can hear about our discount. So for the cloud computing pathway, what are you going to learn? Again, like I said, you're going to learn you're going to understand AWS as a cloud deployment platform and explore real life case studies. Just like Charles said, right? AWS is the easiest one to learn. But in addition to teaching you AWS, we'll also introduce you a bit into Microsoft Azure, just so that you can see how another cloud platform actually operates beyond AWS. You're going to be exposed to different AWS services and real life case studies. We'll teach you basic programming languages, Python, and then scripting language, which is majorly Linux. You also learn to use Git and GitHub for source code management, which is important for you as a cloud architect or as someone who wants to be a DevOps engineer. And then this way you can load roles as a cloud engineer or a solutions architect. So if you're ready to go into the cloud platform, cloud computing pathway, please stay with me till the end. I have something for you. Moving on from that, once you've done your cloud, you can now choose any of these 3 that I'm about to talk about. So we have the advanced DevOps pathway, and you can see the 4 tools on the right. This pathway is centered around these 4 DevOps tools. These are not all the DevOps tools that exist, but if you learn these 4 tools, you can access some cloud DevOps roles. So you can learn CI/CD deployment pipelines using GitHub Actions and Jenkins. For some of you that have heard about us for a while, you know that we've not offered some of these tools before, but we're looking at the tools that have become in high demand, and we're reinforcing our training to ensure that we're able to teach you these technical skills in greater depth, and it gives you the confidence to land your dream role, whether in 8 weeks, 16 weeks, 24 weeks, or 32 weeks, right? So, and the more pathways you do with us, the easier it becomes, right? The more you learn and the less you pay. So you learn containerization using Docker, you learn container orchestration with Kubernetes, and you also work on advanced projects using this core cloud DevOps tools. You become a sought-after cloud DevOps engineer. Now, you can decide that you want to go for the cloud platform engineer pathway, or you combine it, anyone. But within platform engineer, and Charles also started talking about it as well, and even the last pathway I was talking about, right? This is where you can learn tools like Terraform, right? For infrastructure as code. You learn Ansible, you learn Microsoft Azure pipelines, you deploy CI/CD pipelines using Microsoft Azure, you learn, configuration management tools like Ansible. Again, these are the tools we found are really, really popular if the pathway you want to, if you want to go down the route of being a platform engineer. And then the third pathway within the DevOps track that we have for you, site reliability engineer, which Charles also started talking about. This is where you learn monitoring and logging tools. Monitoring and logging has become so important. Like, Some of our students are currently on an internship. I mean, one of our students is currently on an internship with an organization. The focus, the challenge that one of the challenges that the organization is having is not being able to monitor their system. So it's not so much about we deploy all these fancy tools, DevOps, Kubernetes. Monitoring and logging is also very important. And if you decide to go deeper with the monitoring and logging tools like ELK, Prometheus, Grafana, learn additional scripting tools as well, you'll be on your path to actually being able to build a career within the site reliability engineer space. So there's so many DevOps tools that you need to learn, right? So these are upgraded courses and pathways, all powered by AI and for AI. Right now, we infuse AI into all our learnings, our cloud booster. And just like you've learned, AI runs on the cloud. So as we're learning, as we're using AI to build, we're also building for AI. That's how it is our cloud booster and with our revised courses. So depending on how you want to go, you can decide to go for all these 4 pathways, learning all these tools. But in any case, I don't want you to be overwhelmed, because what we do at Cloud Booster is that we teach you each of these things one after the other, right? We teach you step by step. We hold your hands. The key thing is you have to be competent in these tools. It's not so much about rushing. And that's why we're not saying that, oh, in 2 weeks, you'll become a DevOps engineer. No. If you want to learn all the tools we have to offer, you will need to spend 32 weeks with us, right? From now, 60% of the year with us. But guess what? It's better for you to learn these tools, understand it in depth, and land your dream job, right? And if you decide that, you know what, let me just do an intense 8 weeks, that's totally fine. There are jobs that you can learn, you can earn at every stage of your learning, you know, which is a great motivation. So for each of these pathways, we have virtual live classes. You actually come to classes every week. And we found out that this is something that students like a lot. They like the fact that they can come to class every week. We teach them this concept. And we also have hands-on lab, right? An intensive industry standard project. So we're talking about how do you get to work on projects. Join us. We have a pool of projects for you to work on for each of those tools and each of those pathways, depending on the ones you sign up for. So for our hands-on labs, and you know, so you get to do hands-on labs where we teach you how to build solutions on the cloud, right? Out of every tool that you learn, we break it down. What we teach you as though you do not have any background or any knowledge of these tools before. So you don't need to come knowing anything, really. We just need you to be passionate, ready to give it all it takes, right? And we also help with your career preparation and job readiness sessions. We don't disconnect from our alumni community when you finish with us. Even while you're with us, we're giving you guidance on how to prepare your CV, how to do your technical interview. That's why Charles has come to Cloud Booster many times to either serve as a judge or to help with our students preparation for their jobs. We do interview simulation sessions. All of this is to make sure that the skills that you're learning, you're actually able to be visible, right, and land the dream job that you want. We also offer on-demand training support and career support. So while we have lectures every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., breaking down each of these tools that I've told you about, right, we also have drop-in sessions every week. If you're working on your assignments and you were unable to do it, you can join us on a call, right? We also have a platform where you can communicate with us all week long, because the thing is, see, with adults learning, it takes a lot more motivation. You need extra. We're no more in school. Some of you have children, 3 children, 4 children. Stay at home mom, stay at home dad. You have all sorts of responsibilities, yet you want to get a very good career. So we've designed our program for busy people, right? We've designed it so that even if you're working on a Sunday or you're working on a Monday or on a Tuesday, and you're stuck, there's a way you can communicate with us. We tell you when you hear back from us, and we also encourage collaboration amongst our students. So after you finish with us, you have 1 year access to our program. So in fact, sometimes we even extend it before 1 year. For us, it's about you getting the job that you want and you being able to excel on that role. We also have internship and job placement opportunities. People have gotten jobs from jobs that we've connected them to, or internship programs from internships we've connected them to. All we need is people who are ready to learn, right? So each of our pathways lasts for 8 weeks, and it is £750 each, which is easily accessible. We also have installmental payment plans available if you want to take advantage of it. So each pathway is £750. So if you do 2 pathways, £1,500 for being with us for 16 weeks. All the tools you're going to learn depending on what you choose. 3 pathways, 2,000 and 2,250 pounds, and all our 4 pathways is 3,000 pounds. But guys, it's a brand new year, and I don't want price to be a blocker. So we have New Year discounts to get you started. If you're interested in joining us with just 600 pounds, with 600 pounds investment, right? You're going to be with us for 8 weeks, and you have access to everything I spoke about: the support, the career support, CV review, interview preparation. All of that is available for you. So if you want to sign up for one pathway, please reach out to us. Send us New Year discounts to any of the numbers that we're going to put in the chat box now. Reach out to any of our program advisors. You want to do one pathway with us, just cloud, or maybe you've learned cloud before. That's something that people have asked us that, oh, I already know cloud. I just want to learn specific tools. Just pick tools within the pathway that you feel you are more interested in learning, right? And go for it. So if you want to do 2 pathways, please, 1,100 pounds. You're with us for 16 solid weeks, teaching you back to back, 9 to 5 p.m. That's less than 100 pounds per class, right? And that's an investment that you're making into your career and into, what you want out of 2026. 3 pathways is 1,500 pounds if you take advantage of our New Year discount, and 4 pathways, instead of paying 3,000 pounds, imagine you're going to be with us for half of the year, more than half of the year, 32 weeks of learning every DevOps tool that is relevant to the market right now, and you're paying 2,000 pounds investment for that period. If you do the calculation, you will see that it is something that you should take advantage of, right? We're passionate about helping people. I've been in this field for over 8 years. I've enjoyed the opportunities that come with this field. And for me, like I said, I started by organizing webinars, telling people, oh, come to cloud, do this, do that. But I realized that, see, ultimately, you need to give people a roadmap that they can follow. And that's why we decided to start Cloud Booster. So if you're interested, what is the next step? Join our February cohort. Take advantage of the New Year discount that we have. We're starting 21st of February. It's a new year. You can chat the course. Imagine by 18th of April, which is 8 weeks from 21st of February, imagine being positioned properly to write your AWS exam and to get your dream job. Some people enrolled for a training and they've gotten jobs while they were on the training. So installment payment plans are available. There's limited seats available to take advantage of this, right? And these are some of the people that have passed through our program and they've been so grateful, right? We have someone, Dorcas, who came from an agri background. Cloud Booster was her first exposure to cloud DevOps, and she was able to land her first cloud role after the training. I still had a chat with her earlier this week, right? We have Olumide as well, who's going to be facilitating some of our webinars in the coming days. I landed my cloud DevOps job trained after my training with Cloud Booster Academy, right? He was able to get certified and get his dream job. He's been in the field for over 3 years. He trained with us, a number of years ago. And we have Adiola as well, who was even a mom, right? She said, starting my transition journey as a full-time mom stretched me beyond my comfort zone. She actually had 3 kids and she still dedicated time and she got her dream job, right? But Cloud Booster supported me every step of the way and it was totally worth it. Now I work as a DevOps engineer in the UK. So we have people, testimonials from across the world, those in Nigeria, those in the UK, people who have gone through our program and landed job opportunities. So we see that our students love the fact that we give them that support that they need. We hold their hands. That's what you can't get from sitting down on a computer and saying, let me learn this. We were talking about it earlier. Charles mentioned that there's information overload these days. So how do you know exactly what you need, right, for the journey that you want or the career you want to be? We have simplified it. We have made it accessible. Just say it as containers. Those programs are like Docker containers. You will get to learn that when you come into the program. They're like Docker containers, right? You just pick the containers that you want and then you go ahead and learn what you want to learn. So we're here for you. Reach out to one of our program advisors today. Just tell them NYD. That's New Year discount. Send it to one of our program advisors and you can take advantage of this discount. With 600 pounds, you're able to access any of the pathways. And if you decide to do 2 pathways together, we have people who have actually paid for their 4 pathways already, just so that you know. These are people that are ready. They are ready for this new year. They're like, see, we're going all the way, right? So I would encourage you. I was speaking to one of our past students today who wants to come back and, he was like, what do you recommend? Because I told him, look at the pathways we have, take advantage of what we're doing. And he was like, I was saying, well, for you, I think you should at least explore minimum of 3 pathways. And then he was like, fine, he's going to do it. So I would say for everyone on the call, we're all at different levels, but explore at least 2 pathways. But if you feel like, you know what, I have £600 now, or I can still pay £600 in 2 installments, you can start with 1 pathway. You will see the value, and the more pathways you do, the less you pay. So please take advantage of this special New Year discount we have for you. Enroll today. You don't need to delay. You don't need to overthink it. This year, the same way 2025 came, right? And the year passed away. This is another brand new year, another opportunity for you to explore beautiful things in the world of cloud. So I'll just take a few questions, and that will be all. Please, the message is already in the chat box. And of course, if you want to stay behind to, you know, to do your enrollment on the call, please feel free to explore that as well. So I'm just going to read some of the questions that I see here that we haven't covered already. Someone said, hi, baby, so how does Cloud Booster help beginners understand cloud without feeling lost? I love that question. So what the things, that's what I was talking about. That's the support that we give you, right? So when you come to us, it's not just enroll for the course, and we monitor you every week. We set micro goals for you. You can't learn all those tools that I displayed at once. You need to learn it step by step. So you're starting with introduction to cloud. You're learning how to access the cloud. What are the security measures on cloud? That's how you're starting. And then we test you on that. And then we build your knowledge gradually. And then after 6 weeks, after 4 weeks, we give you a project. Or after 2 weeks, we tell you to start working on a project, right? That is relevant to the role that you want to do, whether it's a cloud architect or whether an SRE engineer. So we set bite-sized goals for you. That's the only way you can achieve a dream that looks very difficult and is overwhelming. You have to break it down into, what do I need to do every week? What do I need to do every day? So we bring you to class every week, and then we ask you to, you know, we give you assignments, and then we support you. We're monitoring, we're checking, okay? So what would you say someone who is still unsure if cloud is the right path for them? That's a good question as well. You may want to explore more. You may want to stay with us at Cloud Booster and listen to people's stories. You may want to go on LinkedIn and ask people who are working in the field. Tell them to tell you more about their experience in the field, right? And that will give you insight. But you need to hear more from people in the field and look at the opportunities. For us, we're going in the direction of your opportunity. I studied mechanical engineering, bachelor's, master's degree. I did really well. I had a first class, I had distinction, you know, but I decided that, you know what, it's not so much about mechanical engineering. Is an amazing course. I loved it. No one forced me to do it, but I started looking at where the world is going. And I'm like, you know, I'd rather build my career path based on where the world is going. So you can't fight trends. You run with the trends, right? You ride on the waves of trends. So you need to think about that. Speak to people, think about the trends, think about the Google, ask ChatGPT. What are top 5 technical skills that will always be relevant 40 years down the line, right? So those are things that will help you if you're unsure. I hope that helps. What makes Cloud Booster different from self-learning or cheaper online courses? Just like I said, is the support. That's what people love about Cloud Booster. The support, the fact that you're setting. If you're doing a self-paced course, right, you can give yourself milestones. We don't know what you have, so you can say, okay, I'm going to do this course. I'm sure all of us have a course that we bought online that is self-paced and you've not finished it till now. Who can bear me witness? You haven't finished that course. Many of us are always in that booth, but you know, with us, you know what you're doing every week. You have to come to class. If you don't see your class, we're chasing you, we're calling you. Where are you? You signed up for this, you must finish it. That's where we come in. See, I'm a teacher at heart. I used to teach in secondary school, and that's the principle I apply. You have to come to, why are you not in class? When you've decided that you want to be a cloud DevOps engineer in 2026, you have to come. We're tracking, we're looking at your assignment, we're marking your assignment, we're marking your labs, we're giving you reports at the end of the month. Every 2 months, you're getting reports, you're seeing how you're progressing. And then if you get stuck, you can reach out to us. These are things you cannot get from self-paced courses. Okay, I hope that question. How soon do students start building real practical cloud skills in your program and become employable? Very, very good question. I'm not joking, every single lab, every single project you're working on at Cloud Booster, they are industry standard projects. So on day one, all the tools that you're learning, they are relevant. See, people that develop this course, I'm a cloud DevOps manager at PwC UK. I'm telling you, look at Charles on the call right now. He used to work in Accenture, now he's Capgemini. Congratulations on your new role, by the way, Charles. You know, I used to work in Accenture too. So anyway, we'll catch up after the call. I used to work in Accenture like 3-4 years ago, right? That was where I started my career. So we are people that are actually practicing cloud DevOps. So we know what is in the industry. I just finished a 3-day intense training at work, learning all the new technologies on the cloud. I just finished, like, everybody has been trying to reach me Monday to Wednesday. They've not been able to reach me because I've been so busy. 9 to 5, I'm learning what are the latest technologies. I'm getting trained. So people that built your curriculum are people that are working globally in this field. So you can be rest assured that the programs, the projects they're working on, they're all real life and they're all applicable from day one. In addition to the fact that all your projects are industry standard, you also have group projects you get to work on, which are things that now form what our students talk about. So by the time you finish with us at Cloud Booster, what we tell you is that you've had work experience as a cloud DevOps engineer, and that positions you to apply for roles that you will get in. The projects we work on are the things that you'll be able to talk about during your interview. If you're interested, please just reach out to our program advisors as I'm speaking. Don't forget, drop them that WhatsApp message. New Year discount, NYD. Take advantage of it as I continue answering the questions, right? So, so I think a number of, I'm not tech background, but good at computer and AI tools. So how long will it take me to learn cloud engineer and land a dream job? So for you, again, any of the pathways, you can give yourself 8 weeks, you can give yourself 16 weeks. That would work significantly, okay? So what part do you recommend in cloud? AI, architecture, security, DevOps. What's your recommendation if it's possible? Okay, I think you've already covered that. Give one word answer. Again, just like Charles said, it depends on what you're interested in. We've designed our program so that any of the pathways you decide to go, there is something that you can explore. But what I always say is that go for things that are hard and challenging. That's where you can really position yourself for more opportunities than others. If you know everyone has done the 8 weeks bootcamp, right, and they learn cloud, yes, they can access cloud architecture roles, but how you now differentiate yourself is make sure that you've done your certification afterwards, or you can make sure that you've done another pathway, so that when they are looking to drop somebody, it won't be you that is getting dropped. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the more you learn, the more valuable you are, and the more you can contribute to any organization. So I would like to take advantage of what we have. And do we still have more questions? I think we've covered all the questions we have here on Slido. Okay, I think there's a question here. You know, so none of this requires code. We teach you coding from scratch. We teach you coding. Are you assuring us a completed project after or during the program? During the program, you're working on projects as you are going about in the program, and then at the end of the program as well. So the program is structured. So at the end of each of those 8 weeks pathway, you have a group project that you would work on. So there are individual projects that you're working on all through your classes, because I mean, imagine 9 to 5 p.m. every Saturday. That's how long you'll be with us. So we're not playing. You're doing lecture, and when we say classes, it's not just lecture. You're coming for lecture, and immediately after you learn any concept you learn at Cloud Booster, immediately you're applying it. So let's say today we're teaching you storage on the cloud. The next thing that you're learning is how to build storage, how to build a simple secure storage on the cloud. We teach you databases for 1 hour. You go on a break, you come back. We're teaching you we're telling you log into your AWS account, build a database. That's how we teach, right? That's how we teach our Cloud Booster. So every single thing that, you know, that we're doing is very relevant, very practical, and you know, it adds on to your entire experience as CV. Who do I contact about payments and startup? One of our program advisors. Send NYD to any of these numbers, okay? Someone says, what should we do if we're working and unable to attend the class on that day? Will we have ability to access the recorded classes online? Oh, absolutely, yes. We have made arrangements for you. So we know that people, like I said, we've designed a program for busy professionals. Every class that we have is fully recorded from beginning till the end, is uploaded to our learning management system, and you can access it from that night, the night immediately after the class. So we expect that if you're not in class, because we want everybody to be in class on Saturday. I mean, there's no excuse why not to. Maybe, but I can imagine maybe it's your wedding day and you decide not to come, right? No problem. You can actually watch the recording on the Sunday after Saturday and do your assignments. And like I said, we're there to support you. If you have issues, send us a screenshot on the communication channel, and then we'll speak. We'll help you resolve. What's the schedule and timetable? Because I'm based in New Jersey, so we start 9 a.m. UK time and we end 5 p.m. UK time, okay? So we usually use UK time. So if you're in Nigeria, that's 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for you. Sometimes we finish a bit earlier, but we just want you to block out the day. And for those in the US, we've had students in America and they've had to wake up earlier. If I was speaking to one of our alumni from the US, you know, today, and you know, she's also even a facilitator. So we have our alumni come back and help other students. So it will be a little bit of sacrifice for you, right? Just for that period of time. But please, want you to maximize the experience, knowing that people have done it before. We have people from different races who have joined us as well, you know, different times. So we have people from Saudi Arabia, Dubai, people who have joined us with different varying times. So Australia, we had students from Australia before, they just had to adjust their time zone, but we have to use a standard time zone, 9 a.m. UK time to 5 p.m. UK time. Okay, so please just make the sacrifice for that period, because I know it's like having to wake up early, but that's the world of tech. So what do you think of software testing? Is it really relevant to today's technology? That's very good. I would never discriminate any field, right? But I'll just tell you that software testing is very important. Software has to be tested before it's deployed into production. But the thing is, there are some skills in tech that if you're easily replaceable by AI, then you need to really think about whether you want to go into that field. And these are things you can read up online. So with software testing, there's a lot of advancement where software testing is becoming automated. People are no longer doing manual testing again. So that's a field that you want to be very careful how you want to position yourself. There's no field that there's no opportunity. So I'm not going to say that, oh, cloud is the only way, right? There are many areas, but cloud, we know that the opportunities are there. AI is another. If you decide to be an AI engineer, there'll be opportunities for you. If you decide to be a cloud, there'll be opportunities for you. If you decide to be in cybersecurity, lots of opportunities, data, lots of opportunities. But we have a pathway that we know is tested and it works. So software testing is a very good field. It will always be relevant. But the only thing I would say you should read up on is, how to ensure that whatever path you want to design whatever path you want to go in your software testing, make sure that you're not easily replaced, by AI or any tool that can come out tomorrow. Okay, so please send us your New Year discount. Asking again, is there age? Oh yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. I saw the question on ageism. I'm so sorry, please. So with ageism, I know that in some cases, right, people have to go through that, but there is no age barrier when it comes to learning. Ultimately, we just want people who are ready to learn. The only challenge is that sometimes people that are older by themselves, they feel like, oh, I can't do this. We've had 60-year-olds, we have 50-year-olds, we've had, 40, maybe 50 years, 60 years. We've not had up to 70, so let me know. But I know we've had a 60-year-old in our class before, and we've had 50 years and all, so what I've just found is that as long as you're tech savvy and you're ready and you're willing, you can actually explore this opportunity. And the thing is that, especially in a country like UK, I've actually gone for webinars for events where they are encouraging people who are much older to actually access opportunities, right? It's just to rekindle your dream. Maybe when you were in your 30s, you wanted to do it, but you weren't able to. So there are programs that are for mature people, and they really design it to help people. And I saw people that have done such programs like that. So there's no, at Club Booster, we don't discriminate, right? Ultimately, we just need you to be passionate and be ready to give it what it takes. That is what it is. So yeah, can you explain the installment payment process functions? So what's the initial payment amount and subsequent payment? Must we pay full prior to completing the course? Oh no, you can pay while on the course, right? Ultimately, we can, please just reach out to program advisor directly. They will give you guidance. But what we've done up until now is to offer 1 installment, 2 installments, and 3 installments. But we just make sure that you pay at least 50% before you start the class. You pay at least 50%. In some cases, if you're even going for a longer stretch, you want to take the 4 pathway, it's £2,000. We can allow you to pay up to 40% ahead. Okay, so it's usually around that range. But reach out to them and they can give you a personalized plan or give you more guidance on what you can do. But usually you don't need to pay everything before you start. We just have a commitment fee. So, but budget at least 50% for you to get started, and then you can enroll and then you can pay the other ones. But we usually don't like to do more than 3 installments, right? Because sometimes we don't want to start chasing people. Okay, this was your take on technical support administrator and how easy is it to transition to cloud DevOps. You know what? If you're in technical support already, you already have a technical background, you can leverage it. So we have a number of people who are software developers, technical support and all, who end up actually transitioning in. So you can leverage your existing background because you're in the world of tech already. While we say that you don't need a technical background, because you're in the world of tech already, there are things that would easily come to you, right? Again, all these things that easily come to you are things that can be learned from scratch. So we just make sure that we factor in all these different categories of people, right? So you can come in. Okay, I can see Charles' response as well. In technology, relevance is less about how old you are or more about whether you keep updating your skills and mindset. Thank you very much. That's a very beautiful way to summarize. So I can see Chinedu is raising their hand, even though we're saying that you should put your questions in the chat box. I'll just make an exemption for Chinedu. Please, can you tell us the question that you have? Is it possible to make a payment in February prior to commencing the course and still retain the discount? Reach out to one of our program advisors. Just reach out to them. They will work out something for you. We always like to help people. We are always very flexible, honestly. It's just that we don't want people to take advantage of our kindness. You know, sometimes people take advantage of it, but ultimately we're here to say we're here to help. So reach out to one of our program advisors. They'll be able to guide you accordingly. Okay. This raised hand, would you like to speak, or I don't know if it's a mistake? Okay, all right. Our time has been fast spent. I think I've answered all the questions that I've seen. I don't know if there are new questions. I think I've been able to answer all the questions I have seen so far. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. If you still want to chat, you can maybe wait behind for like 5 minutes, or if you want to, you know, yeah, but I think we're good. I've answered all the questions. I've seen all the questions I've seen in the chat. But if I didn't answer your question, please quickly drop it back again. But it's a new year, right? It's a new opportunity for you to build your career in the direction you want to. The world has changed, right? It's not so much about what you have learned in school anymore, right? You have to think about where the money is, think about where the trends are, and because anything can be learned, anything can be figured out, right? So you want to position yourself as someone who is learn, who is able to relearn, unlearn, relearn, and, you know, position yourself for the kind of jobs that you want. Thank you so much, everyone. Once again, Charles, thank you so much for taking our time to be with us. Please stay connected. At Cloud Booster, we have webinars every Friday. So join us, listen to other successful people in this field, and we can't wait to take you on a transition journey. 21st of February, please lock down the discounts. Take advantage of the discount that we have available, okay? And be a part of this transition journey this year. That brings us to the end of our program. It's 1.5 hours. Thank you so much for your time. Please enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your Friday night. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.